August. August brings a sharpness into the field that no longer wants to be explained. There is no energy left for sugar coating, no strength to keep up something that has long gone hollow. Because now the veil is lifting, and what has been hidden underneath comes to light, clear, raw, unavoidable. The frequencies are not rising in a straight line. They explode in waves. And these waves do not only move through the world around you, they rush through your nervous system, your relationships, and your decisions. Masks no longer slip, they fall. And with them, everything that can no longer be carried. You might not feel it in your thoughts, but your body knows. Restlessness, fatigue, truth breaking through, as a sudden knowing, an image in a dream, or a clear boundary in a conversation. August does not ask if you are ready. It brings to light what has long been waiting to be seen, in you, in your surroundings, in the world. And you have only one choice, to move forward or to fall back into what you already outgrew. August is not a normal time. We are entering the powerful, serious portal, the Lion's Gate, on August the 8th. This energy opens a space where truth becomes stronger than any role. An intense frequency moves through the collective, shaking the deepest energetic fabric of humanity. You might not notice it if you stay in your head and go through the motions. But the moment you pause, breathe, and become still, you can feel it. This strong emotional field, like the collective nervous system, is trembling. Many feel as if plugged into a current. Emotions burst through without warning. One word too much, and suddenly there is anger, tears, withdrawal. It is the release of a field that has stayed silent for too long. The energetic field that connects us all is under pressure. It feels like the air before a storm. And that is why this month is so decisive, because now you can truly see what belongs to you and what you have been carrying for decades out of collective conditioning. Emotions like fear or shame may rise, but they are not there to punish you. They show you one thing. You're not living as who you truly are. And that creates pressure. And your body speaks clearly until you consciously realize, I can change this. And when you can truly feel that realization inside, you are already in the transformation. Because the energy field of the earth is rearranging itself. The electromagnetic field is undergoing powerful change. Everything is connected. The solar activity, the fluctuations in the Schumann resonance, and your own energy system. And everything that no longer resonates with your true frequency becomes more and more visible, sometimes felt as an inner quake. Everything is being tested now. Relationships and systems, places, even the way you see yourself. Many people feel something they cannot quite name, but it presses, it burns. There is a weight, a pulling sensation in the belly. The family field is stirring. You feel your mother's pain. You feel your father's fears. You may even feel the grief of your grandparents. And you do not know why you are suddenly so sad. These are old fields of resonance, and right now they are rising more clearly than ever. They are tied to collective programming, to the human family. And we are not just releasing for ourselves. We are doing it for those who never had the tools or the voice to do it themselves. The 8-8 Lion's Gate will cut a path through these fields on August the 8th. Not to wound you, but to clear the way. You are not here to carry the pain of your ancestors, but you are here to recognize what belongs to you and what are you ready to give back. When this field discharges, your mind will not understand it. You only need one thing: stay, feel, recognize, and choose consciously. And the more you allow yourself to be with what is currently moving in your frequency, in your energy, the clearer it becomes. This goes to the root. The energies confront you with what you have long carried, with what you have perfected just to function, but that was never really you. I clearly see that many old timelines are now closing. Doors are closing, not because you failed, but because you are ready to choose again. And with this closing comes a powerful opening. The Sirius portal on August the 8th is not just a symbolic moment, the 8-8 frequency. It is a real field, a light code that enters your cellular memory. Around this portal, you may experience things like a sudden inner tremor with no out reasons, intense dreams reminding you of other lives or your star connections. Physical symptoms like trembling, heat waves, or electric surges. The feeling, I cannot hold these energies anymore. This is not weakness. This is the beginning of a deep inner shift. A shift connected to your transition into a new dimension. I also see that August is a month where frequencies are being manipulated very deliberately, not through cosmic events, but through calculated interference designed to deceive humanity. I see a clear image, a form, 4 points, acting like transmitters. Not visible to the eye, but felt deeply by those who are energetically sensitive. There is manipulation through anger, through sexual energy, through emotional overload. And you will notice it. You are calm and suddenly your nervous system is racing. You want to sleep and suddenly you feel electrically charged. You sit down to meditate and strange, intrusive signals run through your system. These energies are present in the collective now, but you can detach from them, not through resistance, but through consciousness, because many already feel it. A moment of separation is near. But this is not a separation that takes something from you. It is one that brings you back to yourself, I see very clearly that in August many connections will dissolve, connections that were built on old energetic agreements, not out of anger, not through drama, but simply because they no longer resonate with you. And suddenly it becomes clear you can no longer sustain the old circle. You are no longer part of that field. You no longer belong to that frequency. And for many, this also means that their soul family is beginning to realign. People are finding one another in completely unexpected ways and recognizing each other, not through words, but through a resonance that is instantly felt. I call this the frequency of remembrance. Those who truly see, they will feel it immediately. You do not have to analyze your behavior. You feel your truth. And then something happens. You no longer need to explain yourself. You no longer need to defend your being. You are allowed to simply be in your frequency. And that is what brings you back into your power. August carries this movement strongly. I see lines of light, golden, pulsing, stretching across countries, cultures and language, connecting with the Syrian energies. It is like a new grid being formed, heart to heart, truth to truth. But before you can fully feel this new web, you must step out of the old one. And that can feel like a tearing, because you are still holding on to old promises, even to energetic agreements that were never spoken out loud. But this month leaves no room for compromise. And it is no coincidence that so many veils are lifting now. New axes in the energy field are opening, not in straight lines, but multidimensionally. Some are already feeling it, a sense of disorientation, of standing between worlds. And that is exactly what is happening. In August we are standing between two frequency timelines. One pulls you back into old patterns, old programs, old securities. The other is not yet fully tangible, but it is calling you. And the more your frequency rises, the less you can stay in old energies. And I see it clearly. Many people are experiencing a kind of energetic flickering. The body is responding with insomnia, pressure in the head, tension in the heart space. Because the system is beginning to realize the old no longer holds, and the new is demanding something from you. It feels like two magnetic fields, and your decisions are no longer made through the mind, but through your frequency, your truth, your embodiment. Whatever is not real will now fall away, almost by itself. And many are experiencing this in their daily lives, in their work, in their families, in the systems they once depended on. It is slipping, not because they failed, but because they no longer resonate with the old frequency. It simply does not work anymore. Your system will no longer allow it. And that is not a loss, that is your ascension. What is unfolding now is not just your internal shift, it is also the external masks beginning to fall. Systems that have long been governed by fear are starting to crack, because The frequency of the earth no longer supports those kind of illusions. I see this especially in political and economic structures, fractures becoming visible. And these cracks do not always make noise. Often it is quiet, a document, a statement, a seemingly minor scandal, and yet it shifts the field. August is deeply connected to the theme of revelation. Not always in headlines, but in the frequency. You feel when something is no longer in integrity, even if it still appears officially stable. And this kind of energetic perception is now more important than ever. It is as if you can feel the truth behind the truth. A glance, a phrase, a movement, and you know something is not real here. It is not my energy. August is not just asking you to see, it is asking you to stand in your field, in your energy, to stand for what you feel, to stand for what you know, to stand for what you can no longer support. Because the collective energies are pushing for change, but they need people who are willing to embody the change. And as we move deeper into August, I clearly see the activation of specific regions. The energetic field surrounding the Mediterranean, particularly Greece and southern Italy and Turkey, is beginning to densify. Not out of threat, but out of an energetic clarification, attachment, loss, the feeling of being left or of leaving someone. Separations that seemed long resolved suddenly feel alive again. Not because you're going backwards, but because your soul is now ready to see more deeply what truly wants to be acknowledged. The Lion's Gate, which is opening wider these days, does not only bring cosmic frequencies of activation, it brings something even more powerful, the light of heart opening. And that means your heart can no longer lie. It can no longer hide behind old stories. What you feel, you truly feel. What you once pushed away is now knocking at the door. And the frequency no longer asks, "Are you ready?" It simply says, "Now." Sirius, which shines most brightly around August the 8th, adds a level of precision, a crystalline frequency that draws a clear line between what you truly are and what you believed you had to be. Many of you may feel it right now, a sudden urge to change everything, your job, your home, your circle of friends, not because you are escaping, but because you are finally sensing what no longer fits. These frequencies bring you into alignment with your truth, and that also means you become more radical with yourself. You tolerate less. You apologize less for your emotions. You need more clarity, more authenticity, more presence. And that is a good thing. But it can also feel exhausting because your system is being rewired. You might sleep poorly or sleep deeply, but still wake up tired. You might cry without reason, or you feel a sudden emptiness. You might even feel for a moment as if you are no longer yourself. And the truth is, yes, you are no longer who you used to be. You are no longer the old version of yourself. And while all these outer fields begin to move, the waters, the fires, and the shifting layers of the earth, something even deeper is taking place. Your inner path is beginning to realign, because the lion's gate, this serious impulse, is not only cosmic light, it is remembrance, a deep memory of your soul's path and of what you truly came here to embody. But this path does not reveal itself in outer goals, not in to-do lists, not in strategic plans. It often speaks through a longing you cannot name. You may feel, I want to move forward, but I do not know where and when. Or, I cannot keep going like this, but I do not yet see what is next. That is a sign, because your heart does not shout. It speaks in vibration, in a subtle impulse, a dream, a quiet frequency. You only hear when you are still, in the moment. And that is exactly why you may feel this August. I can no longer return to the old role, not to the old relationship, the old identity, the old beliefs about what life should be. Because you already tried, you adapted. But now your system is in rebellion. Your heart says no, unmistakably. And I see it clearly in the energy fields. Many of you are at the point where you can no longer hold back your truth, even if it is uncomfortable, even if others do not understand. It is as if a new timeline is opening. Not out there in the world, but inside of you. And on this timeline walk, those who feel the same, those will find each other. Those who see with new eyes, those who are ready, not just to live a little, but to live fully. And while all of this unfolds in the earth, in the field, in your body, there is one Rome under increasing pressure, the economic system. I see it very clearly. The coming weeks bring a sharpening in the financial field, not necessarily as a visible crash, but as a field of rising mistrust. People are beginning to feel, I no longer want to be dependent, not on banks, not on unstable systems, not on the old promise that money means security. Because real security no longer comes from the outside. It now arises from frequency. When you are in your truth, your field begins to attract. You are like a magnet. You draw in people, opportunities and resources, not because you chase, but because you align. And this is exactly what August brings. A phase of clear separation between what only looks stable on the surface and what is energetically truly aligned. You may feel, I no longer want to invest my energy into things that do not give back. Or you feel, I no longer want to do what feels not alive, just because it promises security. The frequency of the economic is shifting. Anything without soul value is losing power. Anything not created in consciousness is losing resonance. And you are invited to look closely. What are you still carrying? Out of duty, out of fear, out of habit? what has long been over, but you are still holding on, because you believe there is no alternative. But there is always. When you begin to truly listen to yourself, you do not need to know everything. You do not need to understand it all, but you are allowed to feel that you are guided, that you are connected, and that you are part of something much greater that is now reorganizing itself through you. Trust your perception, trust your pace, and most of all, trust your inner yes, your inner yes. Because everything becoming visible now is not here to weaken you, but to remind you that your frequency matters, that your light has an impact, and that you are ready to step into the truth. Clear, loving, and unshakable. August 2025, the masks are falling, and what is true becomes visible, and that is a good thing, and you are not alone. We are all together in this, and we are strong. We are full of light. Do not forget. And share this very important video. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And do not forget, I love you.